welcome back to what is the second episode of the Layfamilyyarn diaries. My name's Kelly. I don't think I introduced myself last time, but I always assume that anybody that's watching this knows me anyway. But I am Kelly, and along with my husband Nick, we run Layfamilyyarn in our studio. Sorry, I'm just getting comfy. In our studio in Ironbridge, Shropshire, where we work, and we live just a short drive away in the beautiful Shropshire countryside. I'm just back from a walk with Jeff. He is here with me. He's just crashed out on the bed. I'm at home today. Last time I filmed at the studio, and I assumed that's where I would film most often, but yeah, like all of us, we're at home a bit more often, aren't we? We are still working and we are still going to the studio, and we're certainly not breaking any government guidelines in doing that, because we live and work as a family. Obviously the door's locked and nobody's allowed in at the moment, but yeah, the studio's still up and functioning, but we don't typically work Monday or Tuesdays anyway. It is Monday, some random Monday in April. I have no idea what the date is. Maybe the 20th, could be the 21st. Who knows? Is it Monday? All the days are just rolling into one, aren't they? Do you find the same? How are you? Are you all okay? Oh, it's a funny one, isn't it? It's a funny time. A really funny time. But I hope you're all well and safe and mentally coping, you know, as well as physically well. It's I know from chatting on Instagram with some people, it's a real struggle for some people, isn't it? I'm just grateful that I live in an area where I'm able to go for a walk in complete isolation with Jeff. We typically don't see anybody, but actually we're seeing more people than normal. Yeah, so we're just back from a walk. I'll pop some pictures in at the end. We saw the first ducklings of the year, which was lovely. Lots of spring flowers. All the butterflies are coming out now. Bees everywhere. You know, amidst all this chaos, Mother Nature doesn't fail to show up, does she? You know, she's doing her job beautifully. But yeah, ducklings, there was 4. They were just darling. My favourite animals are ducks and giraffes. So yeah, to see the ducklings is just a joy for me. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm going to have a little chat to you about some of the projects I've been working on, and I finished a few things actually. As I said before, this is my little nook to talk about my crafting endeavours. Mostly knitting. I've got a little bit of weaving today, occasionally sewing, never crochet. Love it, but can't do it. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a little chat about these things. And as I said before, I do 99.9% of the time use my hand dyed yarn. So if that's not for you, then you know, feel free. There's plenty of podcasts out there at the moment, aren't there? So I had intended to publish a diary entry sooner than this, but yeah, life's been a funny one. Nick had a surgery that was planned. Megan ended up in hospital, which wasn't planned. And life's just got away with me. But I really want to do it because I found that during times of stress, I've spoke quite freely publicly about the fact that Nick had a mental health breakdown in 2016. And through various things over the subsequent years where he's had surgeries and Megan's been unwell, or you know, just life stresses and challenges, and the first thing I turned to are podcasts. When Nick went down to theatre March, just before the COVID outbreak, he went for theatre. I ring my mum, ring Nick's mum, I let my best mates know he's gone down and I'm okay, and then headphones in, podcast on, and I do a bit of knitting, and that's absolutely my comfort. 3 o'clock in the morning is the same. If ever I'm concerned or stressed or can't sleep, or it's a podcast, it completely soothes my soul. And I just hope that if, you know, one person has watched all their favourites on their list finds this drivel at 3 in the morning and can take some comfort from it, then it's all been worthwhile, hasn't it? So that's the plan. I plan to do it, well, I want to say maybe fortnightly, you know. I quite enjoyed it last time, and it's a nice record of your things, isn't it? It's a nice diary of your projects and your making. So yeah, I've got a few finished things to show you today. Got them down here. When I do it at the shop, I have Nick, who I affectionately call my producer, but since I'm up in our bedroom, he's not here. So how I'm going to end this and finish the video, I'm not sure. I'll just have to hold my top up and bend forward, I think. Yeah, it's going to be unedited as always. I don't have the skills or the knowledge to do that. So it's just me chatting to my phone about my knitting. Hope you like it. Anyway, the first thing I finished was the outer hat by Emily Foden, one half of the glorious podcast and Sisters Meanwhile at the Castle. I finished this, oh gosh, ages ago. I showed it on the last episode, I think, as a whip, and I finished it. I did it as a test knit. And here we are. That's the outer hat. It's got a beautiful turned rim with a picot edge, and then this very beautiful lace. Is it lace? Well, a little bit of pattern there, and yeah, decrease. I'll show it you. It's lovely. I love it. I normally always put pom-poms on my hat, but I think this has got enough slouch that it doesn't need one. I love it. And that double brim, that folded brim there, is going to be so warm in the winter. I haven't worn it out yet because here in the UK it's obviously got significantly warmer. But you know, I could just leave it on. I feel more comfortable in a hat than without. It's completely and utterly, a hat is my comfort blanket. I love wearing them. I feel lost without one, frankly, but it's a bit warm, so I'll take it off. So yeah, that's the outer hat. I didn't make any modifications as such, being a test knit. The only thing I did do was quicken my decreases at the crown there, just because it was getting just that tad too slouchy. So I did less knit rounds in between the decreases, that was all. It's a beautiful crown, isn't it? Absolutely amazing pattern. I will definitely knit it again. Yeah, I really like it. And the other people I've seen do the test knit, it seems to suit everybody. It really does suit everybody. So yeah, that's the outer hat. That one's for me. I'm keeping this one, but I will be making some more for gifts for Christmas. And that was knit in our Tulip La Belle colourway, which is one of the tulips that have been flowering gloriously all spring in my garden. So that's that. The next thing I've finished, oh well, not next thing, but I'll show them next, are the Stripey short socks, a pattern by Jooles Hill of So Sweet Violet, who needs no introduction, I know. And again, I was fortunate enough to be part of Jules' test knitting crew. I've been for some time. I test a lot of her patterns for her, and they are the Stripey shorty socks. I have done the pom-poms. There's a darling little pom-pom on the back there, but I took them off partly for blocking, and then I wore them on a dog walk with Jeff, and they were just sitting that tad high where I'd position them, so they were sort of in between the tops of my trainers and my shoes, so that they just weren't in the right position, so I need to just reposition them. And they were in this bright lime green. I've had kits for sale for this in the shop for some while, and they've sold so well, so thank you for that. I'm glad you like them as much as I do. It's purely testament to Jules' amazing pattern. Made no modifications at all. Typically I do my socks cuff down, so these are knit toe up using Jules' beanie toe, and then her amazing Godet heel, and they're shorty sock. Because I've limited knowledge of toe up socks, I have no sort of go-to preference or sort of muscle memory, if you will, that just tells me what to do. So I have to always follow the pattern to the letter, and it worked out perfectly. Afterthought heels don't fit me particularly well. I say particularly well, they don't fit me well at all. So I always tend to do a traditional heel flap and gusset, which does fit me very well. I have to be mindful of what heel turn I do. Some of those fit better than others. But yeah, I've always knit that way. I guess I've always knit that way because I learnt to knit socks from the Bakery Bears tutorial, and that's the way that Kay always knits her socks. So, but it does fit me incredibly well. I've tried various afterthought heels, fish lips, kiss heels, and they just don't fit me very well at all. However, the Go Day heel really does fit me well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with those. Really pleased. I think I've knit obviously maybe 4 or 5 of Jules's patterns. So yeah, but yeah, that heel does fit me really well. So they're my stripy short socks. I'm going to do some more. I want to do some blue and white ones for Megan. She loves shorty socks. Do you know, and this, I think I've knit, well, I've got 40 plus pairs in my sock drawer. I'm looking over there because that's where my socks are. I've knit them for Nick. My mum, oh gosh, must have a dozen more. Megan's got numerous pairs. And this is the first pair of shorty socks I've ever knit. And they just fly, don't they? I think particularly doing toe up, because the biggest part of the knitting is obviously in the leg. So by the time you've done your heel turn, you don't do, well, kind of do a heel turn still. By the time you've done your heel, you've only really got a couple of inches and your sock's finished. So they just flew off the needles, which was amazing. Yeah, they're great, lovely pattern. And there, as you can see on my bunny blockers, I love these blockers. I really love them. I'm going to take a sock off to show you another finished thing. But do you know, I've had to plane them, sand them down, no end, and they've, a couple of pairs of socks they've really snagged. So yeah, I keep having to sand them and then put some sort of wax on them, which isn't ideal, but there we go. I'm going to get some of the, is it the Bryant sock blockers, the metal ones? I think I'm going to get some of those. Is that those? I haven't shown those on Instagram actually, I must do that. And the second pair of socks I have finished. I'll put one on the blocker. I'll just put one on. These I had nearly finished. Do you remember last episode I showed you them, and I only literally have the toe of the second sock to put in, and they've been on the, can you hear that snagging? And they've been on the needles like that since about June last year. It's ridiculous. Anyway, they're finished. And there is 2. These are a pair of socks for me, and these are Emily's favourite socks. Emily's favourite sock pattern. I was inspired to knit these by the lovely Amy Exterminate on Facebook. I don't do Facebook. Instagram. Amy's got the most, oh gosh, inspirational feed if you're a sock knitter, and if you like knitting scrappy socks. I would highly recommend Amy's Instagram, Exterminate. And yeah, she got me onto this pattern. She's knit them numerous times and really likes them, but it's lovely. It's yeah, simple rib pattern, but they're really, really comfy and really effective. The yarn was just a, well, it was a mishap skein actually. It wasn't as intended, wasn't what I wanted, but you know, perfectly beautiful pair of socks from it. It's actually a really nice colourway. I have dyed it for a friend since because she really liked it, but it wasn't how I wanted it for the shop, so I just kept it for myself. I think I had 3 or 4 skeins, so I made some into minis that I put in one of our dinky boxes and then kept a pair for me. So that's another pair of socks. I always keep my socks. If I knit them now, I don't do the box of socks, and I certainly don't enter any cows, I never do. But anything I knit now will get saved for sort of next season. even if it was in winter, I wouldn't wear them straight away. I scribble them away, and then usually after Christmas I pull them out and got this whole new box of socks, I guess, for winter. Yeah, I never wear anything that I knit now until the following season. I mean, a jumper I may, but for socks or hats and things. That's another pair I'm really pleased with. I'll show you my hat. The last thing I've finished is a scarf. I've been having a little weave. I've got a 16-inch rigid heddle loom. I don't use it nearly as often as I would like. I really enjoy weaving. Can't claim to be very proficient at it, but I do enjoy it. Again, there's a project on there now that's been on there for months, and it's probably only got a couple of inches to go. So I'll try and get that finished actually for next time. Yeah, I must. But yeah, this is one I made for myself. I'll just show you. Just a very, very basic warp and weft and some tassels at the end. It's very much my colour palette. It goes beautifully with my outer hat, as I'll show you in a moment. But yeah, I love it. I love shawls, but I do find scarves so much easier to wear. That's typically how I wear it. Can you see the colours? They're almost, this colour isn't in the scarf, but they're almost made to be a set, aren't they? Shall I pop it all on? There, look, I'm ready for winter. I'm set now. So yeah, it's a very, very basic warp and weft scarf. Nothing fancy at all. I think there's 3 or 4 colours in it. There's magnolia, there's a grubby pink I dyed. Forest floor I think's in there. And then a dark brown. Oh, what's happened? Why is it all blurry? Hello. Ooh, what happened there? Well, we're just going to have to stick with that blurry bit because I've no idea how to fix that. So yeah, I was just saying there's, I think, 4 colours in the scarf total, and some are on the warp, some are on the weft, and it just made a beautiful scarf. Some are DK, some are 4-ply. I love it. The reason I bought the loom, every year at Christmas we do a handmade Christmas challenge, and when I say we, it's Nick, Megan and I, my mum and dad, and we each draw a name out of a hat, and you have to make a handmade gift for that person for Christmas, which is amazing. We love it. We've had some beautiful gifts. My dad's made teddy bears for Megan. What did he make for Nick? Oh, a planter for the garden. He made the planter. I've had candles. I've had what did I have last year? I can't remember. Anyway, but I always felt a little bit guilty because obviously I mean I knit for all of those people anyway. Every year for Christmas they get handmade things from me. And then whoever got me for Christmas obviously got a bigger thing. But I felt quite guilty that knitting and sewing, crafting is something I do for fun anyway. It's my hobby. So it felt a bit, everybody else had to learn a new skill, because apart from Megan, who does a bit of crafting, and now Nick obviously, who knits. But prior to this last 6 months or so, Nick didn't knit. So nobody did any crafting other than me. So everybody had to learn something new, put a real effort in to make their handmade gift. Whereas I just felt like, oh well, get another pair of socks because that's what they've got anyway. So I bought the loom to learn to weave so that I could make my mum a scarf for her handmade gift. And I did. I made Nick one, Dad one. I think everybody got one that year. But so it was really nice for me to challenge myself to learn a new craft and skill as well, which was lovely. This year I'm doing candles. I'm going to make candles for everyone, which is not really a craft, is it? You melt wax and pour it in. It's fine, you know, it's not complex. But yeah, that alongside other little things, I think they'll have a nice little handmade basket. We've already started our Christmas gift knitting this year. Yeah, money's going to be a bit tighter this year, and I think not having spending time with our families, I think it's really special, isn't it, to receive handmade things. So we're making jumpers for the ladies in our family. There'll be scarves I've started making washcloths and dishcloths, and there'll be handmade soaps, handmade candles, all in little baskets, you know, and I think that'll be really lovely. If you're interested, I'll share some of that along the way. I haven't brought up the washcloths and things I've made so far, but I'm happy to share those with you and share the candles and things I make as well, if you're interested, and how I put together these little gift baskets and bundles. I'm happy to share that. So yeah, that's my scarf. And I think that's all, well, it is all my finished things. I have been working on a few things. I think like a lot of us, you know, when we're in week 5 of lockdown here in the UK, and I think a lot of us put this huge emphasis on how much we were going to get done, not just with our knitting and our crafting lives, but pardon me, how we're going to sort through the house. We're going to turn all the cupboards out, we're going to deep clean this and do the garden and and you know, I have done all those things, but I haven't found I've had as much time as I anticipated or as I hoped, and that's a good thing, isn't it, because we are still able to work and function, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, I haven't got as much done as I had anticipated. However, I've knit 2 pairs of socks, a hat and some other things I'm going to show you now, so we're not doing too bad, and we are thoroughly enjoying the garden. You may know we moved house in September and we moved into a new build property, so we have just a blank canvas with regards to our garden, and we'd been slowly designing it and deciding what we wanted where. Nick and I are both keen gardeners and enjoy the garden, you know, both doing and relaxing. So we finally decided on our plan. We were going to have raised beds with railway sleepers, reclaimed railway sleepers, partly for aesthetics, partly for our backs, and mostly because of Jeff. Keep him out if we could. And we ordered the things, and then all the deliveries stopped in the UK. So the greenhouse is full, all the seeds and the flowers and the plants are coming along. We've had to sort of dig a temporary border actually, just to plant the plants we already had, so that they could get a good go and, you know, not frizzle away in pots. But the good news is the garden is coming. The garden landscaping materials is coming on May 7th, so we are able to get started then. I'm thinking about doing some vlogs through May. Maybe, you know, we've got quite a few things coming up, but I've said this before and then I lose confidence, or I compare myself to others and I think I'm not good enough and blah blah blah. So we'll see. I'd like to though. I would really like the challenge of it. And they don't have to be long, do they? I guess just a couple of minutes. I think it will be a nice document of my day to day. Yeah, I might do. I mean, I cook always, I bake always, I've made bread for years. We garden as a norm, we craft as a norm. I work in the industry as an everyday, as a full-time job. So it might be quite nice to see for people, I guess. We'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are. Anyway, I digress. I'll show you the jumper. I've got 2 jumpers on the go, both of which I showed you last time and talked in depth about. I haven't brought the one for myself this time because, you know, I'm a larger lady, I'm going around the body and I'm just going round. So there's not, and it's not been the one I've worked on most, so there's not a whole lot to see. So when I finish the body, I'll show you that, maybe next time. But I have finished the body on Megan's, what will be Megan's jumper, which is the classic cosy raglan by Jessie Mead Designs. and I finished the body. Megan tried it on and she wanted it not cropped per se to belly button cropped, but you know, not long either. So that's that one for Megan. I love these super bright minis. These were a kit of minis I put together for the jumper, and they are in the shop. They're available in the shop. This is a DK jumper, top down raglan, and yeah, I'm just about to pick up the sleeves and get the sleeves finished. This will, she's seen it, she's tried it on, she's happy with it, but it will then go away as a Christmas gift. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about this. I spoke about it in length last time, so if there's anything you want to know, yeah, just pop back, and it's right at the beginning I talked about it, so you won't have to watch the whole lot. But yeah, it's great, it's nice, it's great pattern, really in depth. As a new garment knitter, I really appreciated the depth of detail for the pattern. I think I talked about that a lot last time too. So yeah, that's the classic cosy raglan by Jessie Mead Designs in our rainbow mini set. I love those colours. That's that. Right, I've got 2 new projects to show you now. Well, new that you haven't seen from last time. One of them, it's socks again, another pair of short socks. And I cast these on really because I wanted to see the colourway. It was a new colourway and I just loved it. It was a colourway, if you'll indulge me for a couple of minutes to explain for you. Last year when Nick and I purchased our home, it wasn't ready, so we moved in with my parents in Lincoln, a couple of hours from where our home in Birmingham was at that time, about 3.5 hours from where we are now. And we moved in, we put all our goods into furniture, into storage, and we moved in with my parents. When I say we, Megan and I did. Nick stayed with his mum in Birmingham because of work. And we used to just meet up at the weekends. And Dad's got a beautiful garden, and I used to flick through all the seed catalogues, all the Sarah Raven books, and I used to plan and dream, and everything Dad grew and he showed me, and it was lovely. And I'd be like, oh, when I get my garden, in my garden. And that was what got us through really, all the dreams, all the hopes and wishes for our future life that we were making these sacrifices for would come to fruition. And part of that for me was growing flowers that I could cut into little posies and have in my kitchen, on my kitchen table or on the windowsill, or you know, small dreams, but they're big to me, you know, they were big dreams to me. And part of the spring flower collection was, there was Tulip Labelle, Mistress Mystic Tulip. Where's the other one? Oh, 3 or 4 daffodils and narcissus. Mango Madness, I think, was another tulip. And I did at Easter. I cut them. I had a little posy in the house, which, well, it made me cry. And silly, isn't it? Really, it's just a little posy of flowers, but it meant so much to me. So much. Oh, I could tear up now. Look at me, I'm daft. Anyway, a sock. Silly, isn't it? Yeah, this sock is called Perfect Posy, and to me it signifies those dreams and ambitions and how hard work and sacrifice became a reality for us. So yeah, it was really significant to me, that little posy of flowers. And this is the sock in our, it's called Perfect Posy colourway. They're not blocked. Ems are still wearing it. I only finished them last night. Yeah, it's Perfect Posy sock. It's a sock set, and then you got the green mini. Here's it in the cake. It's like this buttery yellow with just speckles galore. I love speckles. yeah, I haven't cast on the second one yet. I'll do that tonight. We've been watching on Now TV. I had used to have Now TV, cancelled it, and then they sent me a couple of months free thing, so I signed back up for it. And is it See Me and then See Me 2? So we watched See Me yesterday afternoon, last night, and now we're on See Me 2. Oh, it was gripping. Had to put my sock down at one point. It was quite so yeah, I shall cast this second one on tonight. But yeah, for the pattern I followed Jooles Stripey short socks pattern, but obviously I haven't striped. That's just the yarn as it is. So it's her beanie toe, just a toe up sock with the Jooles heel, and then I did stretchy bind off. I don't know what it's called. It's the one where you do a yarn over and then knit the two together. Yeah, I'll try and find out what it's called and link it below. I don't know. But yeah, it's perfectly stretchy and it's quite neat. It doesn't flare. Out on site. I don't like that flare particularly. You know, when they tend to do this, but I don't like that. Doesn't flare at all. It's quite neat on the top, I feel. But I say I don't know what it's called. If you're really interested, message me and I'll explain it to you. But I'll try and find out what it is called and let you know. Maybe it's linked in Jooles' pattern. I'm not sure. I'll find out. So yeah, that's that. So I shall cast on the second one tonight. Or the sleeve to that jumper, I'm not sure which. The only other thing I've got on the go really, I have got blankets and I've been doing my square a day again on my mitered square blanket. Again, that's a really sentimental, emotional project for me. And the day in which we decided to move in with my parents, for about a year, we knew it would be about a year. It wasn't quite a year. Certainly not for Nick and I, but Megan stayed a little bit longer. We moved down to Mum's in the November and we moved into our house mid-September, so it wasn't quite a year. But yeah, the day I found out we were going to be doing that, I decided to cast on a mitered squared cosy memory blanket, and I would knit a square a day, and that would be my project. I called it my friendship blanket because it's not just my yarn, it uses yarn from everybody and anybody. Has got mine in too, of course, but my good friend Sharon, SCR1TNO on Instagram, and she's got a podcast too. We always do a birthday advent swap, so I always get some beautiful minis from Sharon. She always spoils me with minis and things, and lots of friends I've swapped and shared with, and they all go into my blanket. So it's a really special project for me in that way alone. Just the yarns alone make it super special. And then the fact that I knit on this one square a day, sometimes in tears, I'll be honest, sometimes wishing we hadn't made the decision we'd done, other times just happy as Larry. You know, it was a real emotional roller coaster of a year, and that blanket brought me so much comfort and joy, and watching it grow, and every square signified a step nearer to our new life and us all being together again as a family. So again, it was a really special project for me. And then when we got the shop and studio in end of July, sorry, I moved from my parents with Nick, and we were living in bed and breakfast for months whilst we got the shop ready. Meg, bless her, stayed at home with my mum and dad. So again, it was hugely emotional wrench for us all. We were a close little unit, and to be apart like we were was really difficult. And I continued to knit on my little square a day, and I said to Meg, you know, we're 7 squares nearer to all being together. And then when we did move, it sat on the back of the sofa all through the winter, and it was just lovely, really lovely. Couldn't use the blanket then because we got little Jeff, our poodle puppy, and he just wanted to chew it. So it didn't get used, but it will get used. And I haven't knit on it since, actually, for no reason. But yeah, just recently I felt the need for that comfort again, for that soothing project. So that's back out, and it's now every morning, Jeff on my knee, and I knit my little square, and it's bringing me so much joy again. So by this Christmas, yeah, it should be a really good size. So I might share that next time. Gosh, I can waffle, can't I? All that to say, I have started a new project, a scrappy project again. What I'm going to start doing, I'm using mini skeins for this at the minute. Again, just any old little odds and ends. Show you a couple there. And the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I have one of those on the go, don't ask. I decided to make a cushion. This chair I'm sat on here, can you see this is pillow off my bed? But I'm sat on this chair here and I love it, in this little corner. Our bedroom is on the 3rd floor, and we're very fortunate to have like a master suite. So I've got the ensuite dressing room. It's beautiful. It's got 2 roof lights here, and then on the other side over there is a big Velux window, dormer window. So it's flooded with light, and it's lovely to sit here and knit. At night I look here and I can see all the stars and planets from the window. It's just heavenly. But I need a cushion for my back, so I just put a pillow behind me, which is fine, but I wanted a little homemade thing. So I've started a Bits and Bobs cushion. Can you see? And again, these are just all different minis. I think these were leftovers from the birthday advent Sharon sent me, not this December just gone, the December before. And I kept them all, and I've popped them in here, so I can't tell you offhand who's who or what's what. They're just pretty, aren't they? I just love it. So I'm just going to knit this till it's a good length, and then fold it in half, mattress stitch the ends, and in fact I'll probably just mattress stitch the whole thing together so that the pillow's enclosed. You know, it's only going to be sat behind my back when I'm knitting in this chair. It's not going to get a lot of wear and tear. It's not really going to get dirty. So I don't really feel that I need a removable cushion cover really. So I'm sure I'll just, yeah, I think I'll just mattress stitch all 3 sides together and do it that way. So yeah, I've started that. So at the minute, the square I do in the morning, I'm now magic knot balling all of that together so I can get a cake then and just pop it in here. So this is the Bits and Bobs pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and I've just used smaller numbers to make a cushion cover. I think that'll be really lovely. So I've started that since we last spoke. That'll be lovely. And that's about it. I don't think I've got anything else really I'm working on. I say my jumper, but I'm just round body, so I'll perhaps show that next time. I think that's it, you know. I did have something I was going to tell you, but I don't know. Yeah, it's not important, is it? In the day, not important. I guess I better go and cook tea. Does anybody else feel like all they're doing at the minute is cook? Oh my goodness. I do. I mean, I'm not cooking anymore. We always had breakfast, lunch and supper, so I don't know why it feels that way, but it does feel like all I'm doing at the minute is cooking. Maybe it's because we're all having meals at different times. Well, not all meals, but breakfast certainly staggered, and maybe. Oh, can you see my picture here? That was from, let me take it off and show you. My friend Sharon, who I just spoke about, she sent me that as an Easter gift. How precious is that? And she's by her own admission not an embroiderer. She learnt to do that just for me. So lucky. I love. Oh. And this picture is a cross stitch picture that Megan made for me a couple of years ago, I think now. I've done loads of cross stitch over the years. Before knitting became my thing, it was cross stitch. It was all I did really, and I've made some beautiful pieces, so perhaps I'll show you them at some point as well. Well, that's it. I never thought in a million years I would be doing a 40-minute podcast, but I have just done it, so well done me, yay. That's it guys, thank you for watching if you have, and I will see you soon. As I hope to do it every couple of weeks. Oh, I'm going to pop a little dog walk on the end here. You may or may not know we run a walkies club, and each month I take inspiration for a colourway from something we've seen or heard or smelt or whatever on the walk. We had plans to go to David Austin Rose's next month. We had plans to go to Emma Bridgewater this month. Obviously it's not going to happen. So thankfully we live in the beautiful Shropshire countryside and there's inspiration in abundance. This month's colourway was called Pheasants Make Jeff Jump, and they really do. We walked one of our particular favourite walks. I'll pop on the end of the video because I always film it, so I'll pop it on the end of there. And we walked down the country lane, and there's hedgerows either side of us. Some mornings I've seen a deer in the field, foxes often, rabbits, pheasants always. We always see pheasants, but just lately they've started jumping out of the blooming bush where they frighten me. But poor Jeff, he's not on his lead. So he runs down this lane like a whippet out of a trap to get away from this poor pheasant, with me stumbling behind him, honestly. So yeah, I'll pop that walk on. It was taken actually maybe 3-4 weeks ago now, so the weather is slightly different. But anyway, I'll pop it on. I'll put some pictures of the pheasants that scare us, and I'll show you the ducklings from today's walk because they were delightful. So that's it. So I don't know how I'm going to elegantly, gracefully or professionally shut this camera off. Well, I can't, can I? It's me. I don't know how to edit and I've got no producer, so I'm just going to stand up without trying to show you too much boob, and wish you well, and I'll see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.